Okay, so in the next paragraph, after having basically implied that he cannot use God as a hypothesis to doubt, again, remember, what are we trying to doubt here? We've already doubted the beliefs due to the senses via the dream doubt argument, right? We could all be dreaming. So what he's basically trying to doubt here is mathematical truths, because there is a mathematical aspect to our experiences, right? To our daily experiences. But there are also just mathematical truths, right? Even if they're not a part of our experiences, we do believe a lot of things because of mathematics, right? Whether it's geometry or arithmetic, there are so many beliefs we have because of mathematics, and those also have to be doubted, right? If you think about it, when we doubt those, we're also going to doubt scientific truths, because a lot of scientific theories and hypotheses are explained via mathematics or understood via mathematics, right? In fact, physics would be unintelligible to us if we didn't have mathematics, right? We really wouldn't understand a lot of the principles of motion, Newton's laws, right? So basically what he said is, we can't do this by using God, because God is the idea or the concept of God is such that God is a good being. So let's keep going. Let's see how he does it then. The intensity and grows, right? What is this? Kind of like a suspense. The suspense grows. How is he going to do that? Okay, so he says, perhaps there are some who would rather deny so a powerful a God than believe that everything else is uncertain. Let us not oppose them. Rather, let us grant that everything said here about God is fictitious. Now, they suppose that I came to be what I am either by fate or by chance or by a connected chain of events or by some other way. But because being deceived and being mistaken appear to be a certain imperfection, the less powerful they take the author of my origin to be, the more probable it will be that I am so imperfect that I am always deceived. I have nothing to say in response to these arguments, but eventually I am forced to admit that there is nothing among the things I once believed to be true which is not permissible to doubt, and not out of frivolity or lack of forethought, but for valid and considered reasons. Thus, I must be no less careful. Let me scroll down a bit here. To withhold assent henceforth from these beliefs than I would from those that are patently false, if I wish to find anything certain. Okay, let me just keep going. He hasn't gotten there yet. Seems kind of be just a side remark, but it is next paragraph. Let me adjust the recording here, but the text for the recording. But it is enough simply. But is it not enough simply to have realized these things? I must take steps to keep myself mindful of them, for long-standing opinions keep returning and almost against my will. They take advantage of my credulity, as it were, as if it were bound over to them by long use in the claims of intimacy. Nor will I ever get out of the habit of assenting to them and believing in them, so long as I take them to be exactly what they are, namely in some respects doubtful, as has just now been shown, but nevertheless highly probable, so that it is much more consonant with reason to believe them than to deny them. Hence, it seems to me, let me scroll down here a little bit. Hence, it seems to me I would do well to deceive myself by turning my will in completely the opposite direction and pretend for a time that these opinions are wholly false and imaginary, until finally, as if with prejudices weighing down each side equally, no bad habit should turn my judgment any further from the correct perception of things. For indeed I know that meanwhile there is no danger of error in following this procedure, and that it is impossible for me to indulge in too much distrust, since I am now concentrating only on knowledge and not action. What he's basically saying here is that we shouldn't, remember I characterized this as radical skepticism, right? A kind of very radical doubt. And what he's implying here is that there's no need to worry about this, because he's only talking about knowledge, not action. And action is usually taken to imply ethical considerations, ethics. And so he's basically saying, don't worry, I'm not going to go and kill someone because of this radical doubt. I'm only talking about knowledge. So that's fine. There's nothing, that's okay, that's fine, right? Let's keep going. Accordingly, here's the punchline. Here's how he's going to doubt those beliefs due to mathematics. Accordingly, I will suppose not a supremely good God, the source of truth, but rather an evil genius, supremely powerful and clever, who has directed his entire effort at deceiving me. I will regard the heavens, the air, the earth, colors, shapes, sounds, and all external things as nothing but the bedeviling hoaxes of my dreams, with which he lays snares for my credulity. I will regard myself as not having hands or eyes or flesh or blood or any senses, but as nevertheless falsely believing that I possess all these things. I will remain resolute and steadfast in this meditation. Let me continue here at the top of the next page. And even if it is not within my power to know anything true, it certainly is within my power to take care resolutely to withhold my assent. Remember, assent means belief. To withhold my assent to what is false, lest this deceiver, however powerful, however clever he may be, have any effect on me. Okay, let me go back. Well, actually, let me finish reading the paragraph, but there's some stuff I need to go back to and explain a little bit further. So, and even if it is not within my power to know anything true, it certainly is within my power to take care resolutely to withhold any assent to what is false, lest this deceiver, however powerful, however clever he may be, have any effect on me. But this undertaking is arduous, and certain laziness brings me back to my customary way of living. I am not unlike a prisoner who enjoyed an imaginary freedom during his sleep, but when he later begins to suspect that he is dreaming, fears being awakened, and nonchalantly conspires with these pleasant illusions. So let me finish reading this paragraph. In just the same, that's the end of the first meditation. In just the same way, I fall back of my own accord into my old opinions, and dread being awakened, lest the toilsome wakefulness which follows upon a peaceful rest must be spent thenceforth not in the light, but among the inextricable shadows of the difficulties now brought forward. Okay, here's what's going on. Because God is a good being, like I said earlier, he cannot use God as the assumption or the hypothesis that makes him doubt everything that's mathematical, right? Everything spatial. So what he's going to do is he's going to come up with he calls it an evil genius here. Let me go back to that text. And unfortunately, this is a bad translation, because when we think of a genius, we don't think of we think of somebody who's extremely intelligent, right? That's what we think of when we think, or an artist or something. Well, artists who do their art really well, right? That's what we think of a genius, right? Someone who's extremely intelligent. But he doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean that kind of genius. So this is a translation problem. The French term is better, but remember, he's not writing it in French. I think I mentioned this. He wrote all of this in Latin. But the French word, and he was thinking in French, right? He was a French philosopher. It's génie malais. Génie malais. Génie is more along the lines of a genie, right? So from Aladdin, for example. So that's what he's thinking about. He's thinking about a powerful genie that he can hypothesize or assume that will make him doubt everything else, all the truths from mathematics. That's what he's talking about. Now, this has sometimes been translated into a demon, right? Because remember, this genie, this génie malais, will make him doubt all the truths from mathematics. And remember, he had already basically said that implied that only evil or bad beings can deceive. So if it's a demon, then that's fine. But here we have to also be careful. Don't think of demon as the devil either. I don't think he's thinking of the devil, even though that's probably what we associate with demon. He's thinking here more along lines of just a powerful being that is not God. So it's a being kind of between us humans and God, somewhere in between, more powerful than us. It has to be powerful enough to deceive us, but not as powerful as God. uh, but powerful enough to deceive us when it comes to the truth of mathematics. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's going to do. And this is sometimes called the evil genius hypothesis or the evil demon hypothesis. And this is the second way in which he will doubt the truths of mathematics. Unfortunately, he doesn't really make that explicitly here in terms of mathematics. He says, I will regard the heavens, the air, the earth, color, shape, sounds, and all external things as nothing but the bedeviling hoaxes of my dreams. So shapes, sounds, maybe that's what we come close to mathematics, but that is what he's thinking, or at least that includes extension, right? External things. He talks about external things. External things are extended. Remember what I said about that earlier? It's basically those things that take up mass. And so that's it. That's the answer to how are we going to doubt mathematical truths or anything else that's left over after we doubt the senses, right? The beliefs due to the senses. So that is it. That's the end of the first meditation, and I'll just leave the second meditation for next time. And by the way, we'll come back to this in the beginning of the second meditation. We'll repeat this because he will. I think in the beginning of the second meditation, he does bring it up again, right? Moving forward, he has to kind of bring it up again. But that is the answer. That is what he comes up as a kind of hypothesis or assumption as to how the truths from mathematics can be doubted. So there we go. We have the two principles of doubt. And again, remember what that means. It means a way that we can doubt all of our beliefs. The first principle is the principle due to sense perception, right? I'm going to just pretend like I'm dreaming, right? That takes care of all the beliefs due to sense perception. And then the second principle of doubt is basically this, let's just call it the evil demon hypothesis. The evil demon hypothesis allows him to basically doubt everything else, including the truths of mathematics. So now 2 plus 3 plus 5, well, maybe not, right? Maybe the evil, malicious demon, the Genie Malais, is deceiving me about 2 plus 3 being 5. Maybe 2 plus 3 is 10. Maybe 2 plus 3 is 15, right? I could also be wrong about that because there is this, because I'm hypothesizing this evil demon or evil genius, however we want to call them. So that's it. Those are that's what we get at the end of the first meditation as the two principles of doubt.